The I'm Friends with the DJ podcast is brought to you by Grip Tins. Patent pending 100% food grade silicone, BPA free with gecko grooves and spiral ring sleeve for your bartending tin. In an environment where things tend to get wet, we let you get a grip. That is www.griptins.com. www.griptins.com. GRIPTINZ. Grip Tins.
Spread your love and fly. Spread your love and fly.
All right, what's going on, guys? So this is episode 7 of I'm Friends with the DJ. I'm Angelo the Kid. We got Olive Oil as usual, and we got our special guest, DJ Cam, Ledg official.
What up? What up?
The Ledge of Ledges.
Holy Ledge.
Literally.
Ken, how you doing, man? How's everything?
Guys, great to see you. Hope you and your families are staying safe during these unprecedented times. I'm doing well. I've got my production manager and light technician, Amaret, right next to me.
There we go. Bring her in.
That's going to be a whole topic.
We'll see if we can get her in for the encore.
There we go. Come on.
We're bunkered up. We're laying low in our lovely city of Hoboken. And I appreciate you guys asking me to be on the show tonight.
No problem.
Of course, bro. Of course.
We're looking really to take a deep dive into other DJs in the industry. For all of us three, we're fairly new, so it's refreshing to hear the stories from DJs that have been in the game for a while, and the resume that you have it is amazing. In terms of Jersey, you played everywhere, and the fact that you have relationships, we were actually kind of just talking about it a little bit earlier. The fact that you have like such strong relationships with so many different people, sometimes this type of industry can get like, I don't want to say necessarily cliquey, but people get into their grooves and like their close friend groups, and maybe they play at certain places. Like you play everywhere. I feel like you do a great job of that. But let's backtrack. Give me the whole story, the origin story of DJ Cam. How did you come to be? When did you start DJing? What's your style? And take us from there.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the introduction. And listen, for young cats like you guys, and listen, I've been in this game about 8-9 years or so, and I wouldn't consider myself, a veteran level like a Clutch or rest in peace like an AM or something. But like relationships are key. Being a good person is key, and I think you three present that very well. So I commend all three of you, and Olive Oil, the brand, and Angelo the Kid, the brand is strong, and you'll continue to develop it as the years progress. So kudos to you guys. Me, listen, it's funny. I'll reveal some secrets that actually people that know me a long time that know my background. But I was in marching band in high school. Believe it or not. Whoa.
No way.
What'd you play?
My
I saw a choir.
I was in the church choir, man. Like I come from a musical background. My father is a drummer, and grew up playing drums. And he bought me my Tama set. I think it was I don't even know, maybe my 12th birthday, 13th birthday or so.
Oh.
So I come from like a classic rock background. Like I grew up listening to Jethro Tull and The Who, Led Zeppelin, and the Beatles, and like on repeat. Like I was the kid with the Led Zeppelin Stairway to Heaven t-shirt, and then I got heavily into metal and progressive rock. So I started playing drums. I can read music loosely, but I was more of an ear guy. Like I was on the snare line in marching band in high school, and I would understand the sheet music to a degree, but I was all ears. So if I heard it like 3 or 4 times, I was able to rock that shit on the snare and call it a day. So I was into like progressive music. Believe it or not, I was in a metal band for about 6 years.
Wow.
And I was a drummer for a band that was locally known as Nobody Likes a Hero. We played at a lot of VFWs, but we did have a chance to play at Starland Ballroom. We did have a chance to play at Stone Pony. I grew up, obviously I told you my classic rock background, but like A Day to Remember was one of my favorite bands. It still is one of my favorite bands.
Wow.
Haste the Day, 36 Crazy Fists, My Children, My Bride. I got pretty deep into like Killswitch Engage, and one of my favorite bands of all time, a progressive band known as Dream Theater. So formerly with
Jersey. That's Jersey band. Yeah. I know
with
that.
Mike Portnoy
Yeah.
and John Petrucci and those guys. That's like the root of Cam. Like Amaret laughs at me whenever I'm revealing a lot. Whenever I'm sitting on the bowl, or if I'm sitting, at my dinner table, I can't sit still. I'm always tapping.
Something.
If I put my parents on this show, my high school teachers, when they would go to back to school night, they'd be like, "Listen, he's a great kid. He's super bright. Like this guy's gonna be president one day." But that guy just can't sit still. Like what's his?
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You got that natural rhythm. You know what I mean? You got to keep it going.
Natural rhythm. So that's I'm going to bring it way back, because a lot of people don't know that piece. I can shred on the clarinet too. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. My brother plays sax, so we could get a Catalina wine mixer going.
This is crazy.
We gotta do some live music at Green Rock. DJ Cam rocking the electric clarinet.
I promise you, the clarinet's gonna take some time to get back in
the electric clarinet.
I'm fortunate.
Rocking it out.
My father plays in a band still. He plays in a classic rock band.
Nice.
In spots all throughout Jersey. So occasionally I'll come in for a set. My jam's my own worst enemy, obviously. But that's.
I feel like there's also real quick. There's also like a thing like before a lot. Cam, how old are you, by the way?
I'm gonna be 30 in July.
So like a lot of people that are from like 27 to 32, like before DJing, like the whole thing was like being in a band and like touring. Like there's so many DJs I know from that age gap that like, it wasn't to be a DJ. It was literally to be part of a band.
Yeah. Dean Anthony was the same way. He was a drummer too.
Everybody has influences of bands so far that have been on this podcast.
Brendan O'Neill's a drummer. I mean, even
amazing.
You look at Kipples and Frank and those guys from DJ. They're like real musicians.
Yeah.
They've performed.
Wasn't Dramos a drummer too?
Dramos was part of a punk band too.
That's crazy.
So like I feel like
Skrillex. I mean, like shout out Skrillex. Like he was a part of a metal band before he started doing all this.
It's so funny.
But no, I appreciate that, and
when did you get into DJing? So like I know you did the whole band. Was that all throughout high school, and then like
that was high school.
You transferred over in college?
Yeah, I grew up in the MySpace days, man, and I am just a little bit more background on me. I'm from Central Jersey, so I grew up in Marlboro for like 23 some odd years. My family now resides in Manalapan, and I'm in Hoboken for the last 5. I went to Monmouth University, so go Hawks. Down in Long Branch.
Mama shout out.
Yeah, you should be paying me for that after all the money.
Yeah, sure.
But beautiful campus, great teachers, just an incredible experience. And I was a late bloomer to the frat game, so I think Angelo, you were a frat? Or
yeah. I was in by end of freshman year, so I was early.
So you were an early bloomer. Right, Kev, were you guys in?
We're honorary members of Pi Kappa Alpha.
You deserve
it. But no, we were low key kind of like not late bloomers, you could say, because we started doing it like sophomore. Well, it was my second sophomore year, which I call it because I did a 5 years, but junior year.
Yeah. You were the football team. You were the football team though, so that was like
but got into the fraternity scene because my one friend that was playing football joined a fraternity, and really just like got us in, and it just happened to be like we went to Montclair State. We lived 10 minutes away, but his fraternity house was like legitimately like 10 minutes away from my house as well as Ryan. So super close. We were always there. It just like made sense. But we were late bloomers of the game too. But that huge impact for us.
Yeah.
Kind of started.
I was right there with you, Kev. Late bloomer. My junior year, I decided to pledge my fraternity, Sigma Pi. So
Big
that
frat.
was this is like
Sigma Pi,
Monmouth University, Delta Beta. Let's go. And that was like 2010 or so. Okay. And now I'm rocking. So like my first order of business is like, all right, I'm just about to be, or maybe I was 21 at this point. So I was getting the Keystone kegs, or I was making sure that the Jungle Juice was ready to go.
Yeah.
Night parties. And you know, I'll shout out my buddy Louis Morenos from Secaucus. Louis was like our house DJ, and his buddy Sid. Shout out Sid. So I'm bringing it back. So when people hear this, they're gonna
Love that.
Kick it old school. Come on.
Yeah,
Shout them out.
you know, they would DJ all of our parties, and we'd have some parties that were sponsored by Red Bull, and like we would do all this wacky stuff. We had Monster reps, so like all the jungle juice either
No
had
shit.
Monster in it, or
That's
you got,
awesome.
like, you got like a jungle juice with like a Monster like chaser. So it's ridiculous in itself. But you know, those were our guys that were DJing every single night, and we were throwing like. We were putting together productions. We had lights, we had fog, we had production style sound. Like it was legit party. So if anybody that's been to a cam frat party or pre-cam frat party at Sigma Pi, it was legit.
You had a good time. That's awesome.
And
As it should be. It should be legit. I'm a big fan. I think frat parties put
Definitely.
your money into that, man.
let me tell you something. It's fun to watch Cam play Green Rock and all these spots, but Cam in a frat basement, it's like
It's the best. Yo,
Want to see that?
there's nothing better.
Gotta go back in time.
We got to take you to Union College, bro. We could have a
Gotta
time.
come up.
as long as the boss says I can go, then you know.
The boss can come.
Yeah. Quick story about Union College. I just think it's still the funniest thing to this day. We went up, little backstory about me for those that don't know. Before I went to Montclair State, I went to Union College. It was up in Schenectady, New York. I was there for a year and a half, ended up transferring home to Montclair. But my senior and junior year, when we were getting into the DJing thing at Montclair, we started taking like once a year or twice a year, we would go back up to Union because they were big partiers, and I still had a lot of good friends there, and we go up to throw parties. But I specifically remember one year that we went up. It was during springtime. They had like a big spring fest. It was like that was the time to go. We went up there and we threw a party for like the football team because I played ball there and everything. And at that school, all the athletics are associated with fraternities. So like the football team is TDX, the lacrosse team is Sig Pi, like or Sig Chi or something like that. And so it's very intertwined with that. That's how kind of that school runs. So we did a football party on that. I think like Friday night, and that Saturday during the day, the lacrosse team actually found out they were coming up, and I had a couple buddies and we're like, oh, do a day party, yada yada. So we're going playing, we play the whole day. It was fun, and they said, oh, we actually had these big DJs like for a couple months ago come up here. Their name's Loud Luxury.
Ooh.
Kid you not? And we're like,
This is right when
Loud Luxury.
This is right when Body came
Literally
out.
right. They're,
Young Matt.
literally right before Body came out, and we didn't even have it. I remember the only track that we had by them was like Show Me or something like that. It was like it was a while back, but even still, it was just like funny the way that like Loud Luxury knew one kid in the fraternity, went up there, he threw like a couple parties and stuff, and then they just like blew up out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
I think they got a little bit from the fraternity life too. You know,
There's a lot of
now, yeah.
There's a lot of colleges that like bring in big DJs. That, like you go out west, they literally their whole house is literally a concert. It's, it's insane. It's insane. Like I've seen Throttle play at a bunch of spots. Like I would love to see Throttle at a frat house. Like that would be
it's a shit show.
wild.
The set's going to be completely different, which is it's cool to see with a lot of like bigger name DJs how they can change it up. You know,
Definitely.
And me and Ryan got into DJing because we went to so many house parties, and we're like, how can we do this better? Like we enjoy the parties we went to, but we saw a need for at least the school that we're at, which Montclair, like we saw a lacking in certain parties and stuff. And
Definitely.
We're trying to figure out how to make this experience better, and like got into music in that aspect. But you're 100% right. House parties are definitely underrated.
That was the same thing. I was like, there was one year I was like, I just wanted to do frat parties a whole year. I think I was like 20. I was like, nah, screw the private event, but I'm gonna try traveling to a bunch of colleges and just do it.
Rip some frat parties. And listen, like, where can you go to a nightclub or a bar and do a gargoyle anymore? You know, that those experiences are so underrated, but a lot of magic happens at colleges and in universities, and obviously the education is fantastic, but the friends you meet and the people you network with,
huge.
You never know where these people
Amazing.
end up, you know?
That's how we started in bars. It was through a girl that Merkel met. It was just
core connections. And the thing is too, it just grows like a following. Like Angelo, I know you got a great following from Rampo. We had a great following from Montclair State when we started doing bars and stuff. And Cam, I can only imagine the following that you grew within your fraternity and just everyone else in Monmouth, you know?
even now it's great. Like I'll get random messages, from people that were partying in the basement, like before Cam was whatever I am now. Like it just, it's humbling. It's fun. And like, for me, it was an outlet, and that's what it's always been. But anyway, so like I'll cut long story very short. One night our house DJ Lewis was like, I ain't DJing tonight. I want to party. I don't want to do it. Like I got nothing for you. So find someone to do it. So like, I don't know. We sent a message out to the crew. It was like, can somebody play the music tonight? And I had a MacBook, right? The white MacBook, like the OG.
There you go.
I was like,
20.
virtual DJ, no problem. I'll figure this out. I got some tunes on my laptop. And I did it that night. And from ever since that day, I've been obsessed. And how I could just get better and better and understand how this all works. And that's how it started. I was playing on virtual DJ for a while. It was funny. One night, our system crapped out on us. I was literally DJing on. Do you remember the old speaker systems that like was a must-have for kids? It was like 3 pieces, like 2 speakers,
Yes.
and then like the CD setup.
Did you need like an amp or?
No, it was like literally like the old, like it was like a Sony, and it was like the 2 speakers. And
It was kind of like a
Oh
Logitech,
yeah, I've seen it.
or something like 2 little speakers and like a little.
Yeah,
sub.
like if you had this set up in your room, like you were legit. That was a little speaker I want to. And there's just me, like, and there's a picture floating around. I can find it of me, like just like my laptop with the aux cord plugged in. I had no idea what I was doing. I was playing the right music at the right time, and I'll talk about that later on. But that's how it all started. And my first controller, like I was like, okay, I'm starting to understand this art a little bit more. Was like no bigger than like maybe my 13-inch Mac. It was a Hercules controller. It was like these 2 little.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Jog wheels and little mix. It was like it was cute for and I was like,
Hercules was a good bang for your buck. You know what I mean? And it worked well with virtual. So I looked at it. I almost got that as my first controller as well. When I was looking into it and stuff.
It was great. Yeah. I mean, and my mom bought it for me, so it was sentimental. And she's like, "Yeah, you go mess around." And I was like, "All right, so I can't do this. I can't play on that. Like, I'm starting to understand this a little better." And long story very short, upgraded to like a track. I was playing on Tractor for a while, like a Pioneer Tractor controller. I then was like, then the SX came out, like the Pioneer SX, and everybody's like, yo, you got to try, like you got to play in Serato. If you're trying to play in nightclubs and this and that, like you got to play in Serato. So then I got this SX, and I was like vibing on it for a while. And to skip a few steps, I linked up with some people at Porter and Asbury Park, which is where it kind of all springboarded from there, if that's even a word. A guy by the name of Jezzy Funk, DJ Jezzy Funk, down in Ocean. He's big in the private space, all access entertainment. He was like a resident DJ at the time there, and they started doing Thursday night college parties. And he was working with a friend of mine, Taryn, shout out Taryn, who was in one of the sororities at Monmouth, who's now engaged to one of my fraternity brothers. Loves it. And she was like, hey, you should check out Cam. Like, he's like legit. So I came in there. I played a Thursday night college party at Porter and Asbury Park. Shout out Pat and those guys. And that was it. Like, Jezzy took me under his wing. Or his real name's Jesse, but Jezzy Funk took me under his wing. But he was playing on Technique 1200s and a 62. And I was like, like maybe I should be playing on Technique 1200s and a 62. And that's where I became like over the moon obsessed. So I don't know if you guys know DJ Mike West. He's very big down in Tom's River, plays a lot.
Heard of him, yeah.
At Jenks, and he's very good friends with Encore and those guys, Tiki Spot and Unique and those guys. He's got like equipment galore. I actually traded my SX to him for my two Technique 1200s that I still have today.
Ooh, a little bartering system action going on.
Yes. That's a steal for you. I'm not gonna lie.
At the time, the SX was like
revolution.
No, yeah, at the time, but looking back on it,
and me being like, I was like, forget being revolutionary. Like, I want to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
So I literally showed up at Jesse's house like the next day with like my turntable. I was like, all right, like literally like Mike, like, all right, let's see if I can like do this thing. Like,
yeah.
And between him and then and introducing myself to who's now one of my closest friends, DJ Za, and another guy by the name of Emerson Daniels, who I love very much. Watching these guys rock the room at Porta, each and every Friday and Saturday. Like, you guys have been there. It's a big room. It's a lot of people to keep engaged. That's how it all went down, and like the understanding of what songs blend nicely together, and just building a room and not to sound whatever, but like blowing your load too early, and understanding the importance of creating an atmosphere. It all happened literally hours and hours of practice with these guys and myself at home. And I think about all the places that I played to get to these points, but a lot of people don't know. So I was the light guy at Porta for like a year. That was how I really.
No way.
That's how I really learned.
That's how I started with private event stuff too, lighting.
That was how it happened. I spent a year just every Friday and Saturday listening to these guys. Another guy, DJ Nine in Philly. Shout out DJ Nine, who's like on the top of the world down there. Just listening to these guys and how they like control a room. And then Brian and DJ Za, he started putting me on to like open up, here and there. And the next thing you know, and I'm rocking sets by myself. And that's how it all started, guys. You understand the importance, now more than ever of relationships and just being a good person and being able to capture a room's attention. Like, listen, skill is very important, right? Like, you can't just pick this up overnight and just, count, do your 8 counts and expect to be like the next Tiesto. But if you can play the right song at the right time and understand the importance of building energy in a room, and you have some personality to back you up, and you're a good person, you could be very successful in this industry.
Definitely, Cam. And I think just like the way I love opening a room more than anything. Like I prefer opening than playing the headlining slot a lot of times, just because it's fun. You get creative.
Yeah.
And it helped me just by seeing someone. And I feel like the fact that you got to do lights for like a whole year and just see how it worked, like that's phenomenal,
And I don't want to, and you nailed it, Angelo. And I don't want to sound like every other DJ. Like anybody can play the main set and this and that. And like, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do agree with you that opening a room is an art and a half. It is
fun.
And I spent probably my first 4 years opening sets, right? Like, when I came up to Hoboken and, I, connected with Tommy and Errol and those guys at E-Rock, I was playing at Rain, which is now, I believe, Birch, and the Wild Moose. Like, it's like a combo, but the whole building used to just be Rain. And, I was opening for guys like, Carlos Melange and Tony Gia, and like seeing how these guys play, and build an atmosphere. And, you learn a lot from humbling experiences. We've all been there. I've played for nobody. I've played for 3 people. I've played the early 8 to 9 set, and then I've sat there at 11 o'clock and saying in my head, I could do the main set. We've all been there.
Yeah.
That's okay, because that's the drive and the energy and the will to just keep going. It's a very competitive industry. Being a DJ now is like, to your point, I think it was maybe Angelo that said it earlier, like what it was earlier to be in a band. Right? I was like, I got to be in the band, or I got to be the varsity quarterback, or I got to be the varsity, pitcher on a baseball team in high school. Like, this is the aspirations that young kids have. And I've just been very fortunate to be connected to so many great people along the way to get me where I am at presently.
Definitely. That's an awesome story though. Just like how you started and where you ended up, like you're killing it right now. And you're only going to kill it even more in the future,
Moving to Hoboken was big, Angelo.
It's a big move.
I moved here in 2015, and just like you guys, I was networking. I shout out Joe P. from Wicked Wolf, former GM of Wicked Wolf. He received quite a few Facebook messages from me. When I first moved into town, I'm a new guy. And I've established myself down the shore. I was playing spots that you might not have even heard of at this point, because they're not there anymore. Indulge, Wind and Sea in the Highlands, Draft House, Jax. I mean, the list goes. Jax is still there.
Jax
is still there.
Awesome.
Jack's the only one that rang the bell.
I was playing I played Spicy's in
Seaside,
and I used to be at Boathouse in Belmar all the time. So I had a nice, and Porto obviously being, the springboard to the nightlife scene, the club scene specifically, was big for when I came to Hoboken. And, I reached out to Joe P on the Facebook, and long story, very, very short, he gave me a shot to play on a Saturday night at Wolf. Like I was the guy, like 9 to 3:30, like dive into the crates and let's get going. I played Miley Cyrus Party in the USA. They had never heard that before at Wicked Wolf.
What is this song?
That's so funny.
Like freaking out.
Place went berserk, and almost 5 years later, I've been rocking there ever since.
When times were good.
Awesome.
When times were good.
That was listen, like a Friday night in Hoboken was. Now Green Rock does a fantastic job of keeping Fridays engaged, and shout out to you guys, Olive Oil, for keeping the movement rolling. But you're right. I mean, listen, like Mike West actually said it years ago. He probably doesn't remember, but the guy's very philosophical. He's a wealth of knowledge. Like clubs change every, the scene just changes every 10 years, just like your body changes every 7 years, right? So just adapting and understanding how to play that room and this and that, it's real. And, 5 years ago, I could confidently say that, Friday nights in Hoboken were a lot different than they are today.
Oh, yeah, wholeheartedly.
That goes for everywhere where you go. But adapting and just, again, being super versatile. If there's one thing I can give advice on is don't label yourself as, I'm a trap DJ. I'm strictly a house DJ.
House DJ.
I rip hip hop or bust. Like, you better, listen, if you're not open format, if you don't have a diverse list or set of crates to dive into, you're dealing with so many different personalities with age ranges from the Fortnite age range to and TikTok to
everything.
TikTok.
There's my age who like adores Steve Aoki and Tiesto and Swedish House Mafia from 2010.
Yeah.
And then there's even older who appreciate all that music you heard at the decos and the surf clubs and DJs that you even hear now.
The early 2000 bangers,
So just being extremely versatile, and the last piece is trying to stay as humble as you possibly can in this industry is very, very key.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
But you got to do your best to stay humble.
You got to be careful around Olive Oil. They hate the word open format. They hate the saying open format.
You guys are Flashback Friday.
No. Like I get it, but to me, a DJ should always be open format. That's the point of a DJ. You can play whatever you want. You know what I mean? So why does it have to be a term in a sense?
I think and again, I'm going to say this loosely. Like, I think guys like a Ferrari or a Castro, like shout out local talents that actually produce music and and even guys like you, right? You guys are actively producing music. All the time. Then you hold some clout. Listen, I make some mashups and edits. Anything I do on the production side isn't too fancy. It's just mashups that come into my mind that I'm just like, this will play well in the spot that I think it will play well at. When you're really going into the intricacies of producing and creating a sound, like when you hear a Castro track, it's a Castro.
Right.
If you hear
Ferrari, it's Ferrari.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Does the big side, big room.
And shout out those they can say if they're how, and I'm not saying they're saying that, but if they wanted to, they could, because they have that back.
They have that back them up. Yeah.
For me,
I agree.
I don't necessarily consider myself a producer. Do I have a symphony constantly going on in my head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to the point where my girlfriend might leave me on some days?
Ever.
Always. There's something always happening up here. And I'll text Zah, or I'll text one of you guys. I'll be like, I got this. I think we were talking about it on Call of Duty the other night. I'm like, I got this interesting idea for a mashup. Of course, but at the end of the day, the roots of the DJ is a DJ. I play other individuals and artists' music, and I'm proud of it. And I confidently say that I feel like when you go into a club and Cam's DJing, you know what sound and what type of energy to expect from that party.
I agree too. And that's kind of like what I think. I think a little differently than Ryan when it comes to open format. Like we're all open format, but we all like lean one way. Like typically like when you see me and Fisher play, like we lean towards like these crazy like throwbacks, like songs you just never expect. Like we really just like catching people's eyes, or we traditionally like and play more EDM, more progressive, more, more house styles. So I feel like, there is a lot of open formats, but everyone kind of does have their style, like what you said, Cam,
100%.
And it's good to have that way,
Nothing wrong
and to Ryan's point, in this industry specifically, you definitely need to be open format. And I think, the Ferraris and Castro in this world are at the levels where when they're playing, specific festivals or specific places, like, by all means, you get away with just playing, 100% their style, or 100%,
and
specifically house or
definitely
what have you.
That's what the people are going to see. They're going to pay a ticket to go see Ferrari play Ferrari songs. They're going to pay a ticket to go see Castro play Castro songs, kind of thing.
And like you said, Fish, though, like most DJs have to learn. Like I've seen Ferrari rip an open format set. Like that's the thing. Like if you grew up on DJing like first, maybe instead of producing, like that's when I feel like, okay, like I try and learn to just play a room,
Like to me, it just sucks. Cause I think it would be dope as shit if and I've seen it happen occasionally, but just like Tiesto just rips a pop punk set. I feel like people will go ape shit for it. Cause I think it'd be cool.
It would never happen, but yeah.
It would. I mean, he's played The Great Escape before.
I
heard him play The Great Escape.
Stax remix.
You bring me back in 2016 when I was playing at Village Poorhouse a lot. In Hoboken, we used to shred it was like a 1:30 to 2 o'clock, just like straight punk rock set, like
that's
similar
fire.
to what
That's awesome.
Fridays, guys.
I love that.
That's great.
It was
Gotta switch up.
Not only were like the people that were there to party were looking forward to it, but like the crew and like the people working there were like, oh, he's playing Sugar We're Going Down here.
It's that time.
Yes, like
that's lit.
But listen, like think about what it is we're responsible for. We're responsible for creating an atmosphere, an energy, a memory, so that people wake up the next morning, they think less about the hangover that they have, and they think more about, wow,
experience in the night.
My experience at Green Rock, my experience at Wicked Wolf, wherever I was a night to remember. And like, listen, we could talk about music philosophies and theories all day long. I think it's important for us to be extremely creative and try different things and step out of the comfort zone. So like I play at Dare in Atlantic City. I have no problem dropping a TLC track or a Miley Cyrus track or a sing-along lit My Own Worst Enemy track at like 11:30 at night, because I know people are going to sing and it's going to be a banger. Yeah. And it doesn't.
You have that confidence.
You got to feel comfortable. Yeah.
Could not agree more.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Sticking to some of the staples, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like people, Za and my crew, we'll joke around. Like I love the song Clarity by Zed. It never gets old for me. I can listen to it on repeat. It's just an incredible vocal. It's an uplifting song. I have probably 38 edits of it. I think David S is my personal favorite, the Omnia bootleg. But anyway, actually,
plug over here. Shout out David S.
Yeah, I have a bootleg myself. Anyway, but like at the end of the day, there's certain songs that do work, and let's call like New Jersey. Like when you think New Jersey, you think a club. What is the one song you think of?
Calling.
Not even a question. It's not even a question. You didn't even have to think, but it works, and people feed off of that energy. Like when you're in DJs and you hear Calling, you're in Green Rock and you hear Calling, and the napkins are flying. Like that's the memory that you go home thinking about. And as long as you piece that puzzle together, right? Because we're like artists, like we're like puzzle makers.
Yeah.
As long as it pieces together and you play it at the right time and the energy is right where you need it to be, play away. Play the radio edit, play the olive oil edit, whatever you want.
There we go. Plug it in, baby. No, but I'm gonna take a question from Angelo, because I know you want to ask this, but it's a great question because I am in a similar situation as you, Cam. Now you are a DJ, but you also have a 9 to 5. You also have a job, so you have to, balance having a normal job, working that, doing your, your career and growing that, but as well as growing this, and obviously you're doing a great job at handling both. So, what is that like, during your day-to-day process? Have you always done that? Are you looking to do one or the other in the future? Is it just going to be DJ Cam? I hope so, because that'd be a great inspiration for where I'm at right now. But how does that break down for you?
If you want to be some DJ Cam ghostwriters and
no, but like I have a 9-to-5, so like there's a point for me that I want to get out of that and I want to pursue olive oil. But for me right now, like I see the value in doing both. It's an income perspective for me.
It's a very great question, Kev, and I commend you and others that balance a 9-to-5, as you put it, along with like creating and developing and growing a brand, in the nightlife industry. Step one is support. I got the best support system there is. So, shout out my girlfriend at Moret and my family. They've been like super supportive since day one. They know I can't sit still, so it kind of plays into my character very well. But no, I have a passion for a lot of things, and I couldn't find a fancier word to say. Sports and entertainment being at the forefront. I'm fortunate to work for, an incredible organization, 9-to-5 for my favorite basketball, team. And, I'm a huge NBA fan. So having that opportunity to, share that one side of who Cam is incredible for me. Like, I mean, a lot of what I've learned as like a professional, right? Like I'm a sales executive, directly correlates to a lot of the successes I've had as a DJ, as an entertainer. But I think there will always be a balance. I'd like to say I'll be able to go forever, but who knows? I'm a big time live in the moment, plan for the future type of guy. Can't look back. I mean, it's always great to reflect and see how far you've come. But it was my old CEO that used to say it a lot at my current job. I'm happy, but I'm never satisfied. So it's what can we do to get better, and that could be, can I be branding my the DJ Cam brand better? Can I be more active on social media? Can I finally have a website that I've wanted for 8 years that I finally got up and running? Can I put some more content out there? Like, you could do SWOT analysis about yourself all day long. I would say one of my weaknesses, quote unquote, was I don't put enough content out there. Like I've always been like hey, listen, if you want to come hear what Cam's all about, you got to come show up to a gig, and then you'll get the full deal.
Yeah.
But, just putting more content, especially now in a very content-driven, time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Stand on that. So, in short, it takes a support system. It takes discipline, and it takes drive. I'm not here to stroke any ego, but I just have this drive, this constant, like, I've got to be productive.
Yeah.
How can I get a win for the day type of mentality? And it could be a small win too. It could be as simple as saying, oh, I got 2 new followers today. That's great. Like that, those are the little wins that like add up into larger wins as you progress.
Yeah. You have to, you definitely have to, because you're pulled in so many different directions with it. So you have to have that drive, because, if you don't, either one's going to grow and the other one's not, or you're going to be stuck at a plateau for both of them.
And I do have to say too, like, if you don't know like Cameron Nichols and you only know DJ Cam, like from your say you're following your profile or whatever, you wouldn't know necessarily that you even have another job. People would just think that. So I would disagree that you're not good with content, because you're very, very good with content.
You're good at branding. We're going to talk about the whole Ledg. We'll get into the whole origin of how Ledg.
I need to know where Ledg came from, number one, because it's genius.
It's funny, a lot of people say that. They are like, you're just a DJ, right? Like that's what you do full time.
Exactly. So like people wouldn't even know that you have a 9-to-5, and it's the way that you promote your gigs too is second to none, because you're going basically from, like, say you're playing on Friday, you're going from Monday to Friday, and you're posting content every single day, whether it's a picture that you're actually posting or it's a story, and you're getting everybody who works at the place to repost it consistently.
That's important.
So I do have to disagree. I think you're very, very good with content. Don't knock yourself for that.
So I appreciate you. from a content, like I couple content with like my the music and like the sounds that I put out there. And what I was speaking to earlier was more so just like I understand the like I think you guys in particular, Angelo and Olive Oil, like do an incredible job of putting out mashup packs and bootleg packs and original tracks and like posting live mixes. Like I've always lacked in that area. It's not so much the art or like the technical piece to doing it. I've just neglected it for whatever reason. But yes, the actual brand in itself, like what are you to expect when a DJ Cam walks into the building or an Angelo the Kid or an Olive Oil walks into the building is very, very important. I've read a lot. I've read a lot on how to maximize these free tools that are at our fingertips, right? So the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Twitters and, it's just understanding every tool, like for an Instagram, for example, serves a purpose, right? So your feed, is the brand, right? Like it's the, who am I as a creative DJ or artist or however you want to, describe me. My story is more of like the playful, get to know Cam a little bit better. Here's some recaps. Here's some live footage of like of a Cam party. But there's a lot that goes into it, and I've read a lot of books and I've done a lot of research online as to how to better position my online and social media presence. And I've seen it's I'm not to sound like an infomercial, but like I'm seeing the success of it as a result. Like where I was averaging maybe 100 likes, if that, seeing an upwards of 300-400 likes and growing a following and people sharing your posts and commenting on your posts, building this brand. And we'll talk Ledg in a second, which is ridiculous. But it's imperative as a DJ and an artist in a very competitive space to not push that to the wayside. Like that's an important piece to the puzzle. Is the marketing and the branding of who you are as an artist.
Definitely. And I like how you said, like, there's like different things for each, let's just say social media or even like, your feed or stories. Cause like recently I just started laying everything out. So like, okay, what am I going to do for TikTok? Okay. What am I going to do for YouTube? What am I going to do for this? It's just like, you need to do that. I just feel like it's smart to do that because to kind of have it formatted and know what direction you're heading in, so
and support's important too, right? Like one is engagement, right? So you need engagement on your posts. So if your caption needs to be extremely targeted, it can't just be like this novel of like, last Saturday I was at XYZ club and it was so lit and this and that. Nobody cares, right? Like the picture's gonna speak 1,000 words, and then the way you position your comments and your tags is going to provide a high level of engagement. So likes are important, but they're not at the forefront anymore. It's the comments, it's the interaction with your following that really drives engagement. Those engagement levels. You look at the statistics, and then like the story is where you can have some fun, right? Like show who you are as a person, what you support, who you support. You got all these random polls and questions and this and that you can do, which is really important. And I think it was maybe Fish that mentioned, that Monday through Friday, if I knew I had a gig coming up on a Friday or Saturday, like I'm promoting it till then, like what are we doing? Like if we're not doing work or we're not like in the shower or eating dinner at the dinner table, like we're probably looking at our phone. So every night I want to make sure that that I'm coming for you. That Friday night, I want to like instill it that Monday night that like there's no doubt in my mind that Saturday I'm coming to Green Rock and I'm going to see Cam and hang out with the bartenders and have a good time.
Definitely.
I want to make it almost impossible. Like I want to just like, subliminally be like a little Cam on your shoulder, just like coming for you. Yeah, it's all very important. And my last piece there, and I'll shut up. I can talk. I can go on forever.
That's why we got you on, bro.
You're good.
My advice is one piece, but there's so many beautiful and incredible and intelligent minds in this industry. Like I promise you, like a lot of what I've learned from a marketing and social perspective, like isn't my own, recipes. You look at who's doing it the best, and then you create your own style to it, and you mirror it, to a degree. So I challenge you guys as, the future, right? Like you guys are rising stars in this industry. Listen to guys like me or whomever you can get your hands on to really guide you through this journey.
Definitely. Thank you, bro. That was motivational right there. Love
I
it.
like that.
I'm wearing the DJ uniform. I got the black shirt on. I'm ready to go. Just put some turntables in front of me.
I wish, man. I wish, for real.
You guys have been doing a great job, and it's hysterical to look 8 weeks ago at this point or whatever it is, and I start seeing some live streams popping up and this and that, and I was like, all right, I'll try this out. And now it's like I look forward to it. It's like Tech Tuesdays. Like,
no, baby.
Like, she goes, what day is it? I'm like, it's Tuesday. She goes, all right.
Tech Rock.
So you're at 6 o'clock. We got to start setting up the equipment. We'll do the sound check. And I'm like, what? Oh man! But,
she's always flipping the lights, right? Too.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a video of her doing it.
It's so funny.
Very discreet because her technique is flawless.
You gotta set up like a separate camera or something like that. Get you in action.
People are more I promise you this. They're more interested in seeing when Amrit's going to start flicking the lights on a Friday night Green Rock session than me playing the actual music.
Production's huge. Come on.
So good.
A lot of work into that.
She calls me production Cam. Everything I do is a production. But you know what? It plays to my character and who I am since I'm like day one. Like I come from like you're not leaving the kitchen table until you are able to, answer every question, perfect before taking that test the next day. That's just my upbringing. Like, practice makes perfect, and everything, there's a reason to everything that you do. And in lack of a better way of putting it, if you half-ass it, you're gonna get a half-ass result.
Exactly.
I always, I joke around with a lot of my buddies. My buddy Ryan, who's actually the current light guy at Porta.
Ryan's the homie. Ryan's funny as hell.
Pass the torch.
Yeah, I've been friends with him since the middle school days. I grew up with this kid, and he's always had a really great ear and for house music and music in general. Recommended him to Pat, and he's been there ever since. But him and I always toy around with he's like, when are you gonna finally throw throw the feet up and just call it a day? Like when are you do? I said whatever that time is. I already have it planned out. I'm going to take the laptop. We're going to go to Belmar Beach. We're just going to throw it in the ocean.
Right over the river.
And it's gone.
So I'll make sure you get the calendar invite. I'll promo it. It'll be whenever that day comes. I promise you guys will be.
There we go.
That's funny.
That's awesome. So let's move on to Ledg, because listen, we've been dying to ask this question. I think
that's the whole meat of the conversation, baby.
So
Ledg.
Listen, where did it start? We have people everywhere on social media. On your comments, we probably have like 40 Ledg comments.
That is
live feed
section. That is your comment section.
One's in the chat for Ledg.
Perfect.
So
Ledg Rock.
Let's just hear. I want to hear like the origin story, how it came in about, and everything about that.
Hold on a sec, guys.
You're good.
There it is. It is.
Fire.
I should have wore the fucking shirt. I got the shirt in my closet.
Is that DJ Cam or DJ Ledg? Come on.
Even think about it.
So, it actually, the origin of it is in my other life, in my Cam with a suit on now. For those of you who know what my logo looks like, it's a very big play on Avicii, who I friggin' love and adore. Arguably the best producer of EDM music of all time. And there's this little suit. And everybody always were like, yo, that's a dope logo. Like, why is that your logo? And the reason it is my logo is exactly to Kev's point earlier on, is I balance two lives. And again, it doesn't happen, without support and people cheering me on along the way. But anyway, the Ledg origin comes from the suit portion of my life. When I was working at
when you say suit portion, it sounds like you're like a Hannah Montana, living two completely different lives. I love it.
Hannah Montana. I really do though. I mean, listen, if I'm when I get back in the office, I'm going to start. Anyway, so I was working before I worked for Barclays Center and the Brooklyn Nets. I worked for Madison Square Garden. I worked for the Knicks and the Rangers.
Nice.
And, some of my best friends to this day, Joe D, shout out Joe D, Hoboken native, Cole Gargione, Jersey City, Hoboken native. We had a couple of buddies in our office that we considered like legends, and we we'd be like, this guy's a total legend, or like this guy's a total legend, and then it as most phrases do,
you drop something.
You abbreviate. It's like you ever see the movie Social Network, when you learn that it was the Facebook before it was just Facebook.
Yeah.
We dropped half the word, and we just started calling people Ledg. And now the spelling is very, very important. Okay, there's no E at the end. It is Ledg. It is a term of endearment. It is a describing word. It is if you're a ledge, like it's a positive thing. It's not meant for people that aren't good people. Straight up, just like good charactered people. Just good upbringing. And I say it so much, and my friends, we say it so much that it's become a brand. It's become a part of who I am. Like even my boss at work will call me the Ledge. Like that's straight up.
Keep it up with those sales, Ledge. Keep it up.
Keep it up with those. Keep this, sale a day keeps, Anyway, but I've been very fortunate to, come from, working my way up the system in my corporate job, with some really creative and funny people, and that's the true origin, and it's grown from there. And I think I took it maybe to another level. So I legally changed my middle name to Ledg, and this. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. You all looked at me like.
I literally thought you were gonna pop out of the papers. Not gonna lie.
I wouldn't
pop
put it
out.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No,
That'd be pretty savage. You gotta get that paperwork going, man.
Like if you guys have been around town in Hoboken, like you go to Luca Brasi's, or you look at the guy behind the counter at Biancamana, Ledg. Right, like
that
you
place
walk
a goat spot.
You walk into Green Rock, and Brandon's holding and Kevin are holding the limbo stick, Ledg. Ivan's 10 Bud Lights deep, Ledg. That's how you have to understand how to use the word. It takes a lot of time, a lot of practice.
Can't throw it around. You got to feel it in the belly. You got to feel it in the heart. So if you're going to say it, just make sure you say it and spell it right. We got to get this on Urban Dictionary or something like that. This is going to be the introduction, the meat and butter of it.
Good.
What's funny is I hear stories, buddies of mine will be like, I have friends and stuff that have been saying this for the longest time. They just never took it to the level that you took it, too. So anyway, long story very short, I am looking to expand the Ledg brand, and make it wearable. So, coming soon, we'll be having, I'm going to put on the fashion cam hat and see where it rolls from there. But I appreciate you guys asking. It's always a fun story to talk about.
No, I mean, dude, I know we love it. A lot of other people love it. And I just think that it's become an extension of the DJ Cam brand at this point. And
huge.
It's fire.
I love seeing your comment sections on your posts, because everybody.
I have one post. I have one post that I posted. It's a couple months ago. I was like, something like, how many Ledg comments can I get? Or so it was like 80. It was like 83 comments. It was like,
that's awesome. I love it.
But you know what? It goes back to talking to the importance of content and promoting your brand, and consistency is very big, right? So ATK, my boy Angelo the Kid, having that name out there, and having, or even a Nicky Riz, right? You guys know Nicky Riz.
Yeah, you know the vibes.
Killing the vibes. You see that guy, immediately you think that tagline. You see a DJ Camilo, you immediately think warning. Now I'm not suggesting that everyone needs a tagline or something to define themselves, but it is important to that brand. But these are some of the best guys in the industry. So.
Definitely. Olive oil, they think extra virgin. So
no, yeah, not so virgin. Good try.
I've gotten into a habit of tagging olive oil, in posts anytime olive oil like pops up anywhere. Like
There we
I
go.
was in Lake Placid with Amaret a couple months ago, and there was like this olive oil store in Lake Placid.
I
So
remember that.
I
Yeah.
did like this
Yeah.
Zoom, and I was like, there they are, you know. Like, any opportunity I have to do that, I will.
Oh, we love it. We love it. We love
That's
it.
awesome.
Every time somebody goes somewhere, somebody is always sending
Yeah.
me something. Like there's a barrel in Disneyland that just has olive oil on it. I got sent that a couple times.
But that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what you
great.
want people doing.
Yeah.
They post it to their story. You know, I have a couple thousand followers. You have a couple thousand followers. When you repost my stuff, when I repost your stuff, new people are engaging in your brand. That is powerful, and it's free. It's
Yeah,
free.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's free. So, you know, take advantage of that, right? That is extremely important, especially like for young guys like you, right? Like you guys have established a really strong brand individually, right? Olive Oil and Angelo the Kid. Like, take advantage of these free outlets. Like, unfortunately, I don't know if I'll ever be a TikTok guy. I don't know if it's like because I'm not a part of the generation.
Love that.
But like, you know, take advantage of it if like you're in that, you know, world. Like, you know, like I was part of the MySpace world. Like,
Yeah.
like that was
I can't see
TikTok-
myself TikToking personally, but
Listen, Merkel, we wanted to see some dances on TikTok. Come on.
I got him if I need him. I got him. I'm practicing, but I can't see myself on TikTok.
Merkel's DJ arm flick is
There we go. That's all they need. Just video, just right here.
I'll watch that on repeat. Like, you know, you just give me that. I'll be back.
I always used to
That's so
move my
good.
hands. Even in football, they used to make fun of me because I used to play offensive line. So I used to pass protect. And, you know, usually you keep your hands up and you keep them like smooth and stuff. I used to always be going like this. They used to say I was reeling in fish back in the day when I used to play and stuff because my hands are always going.
Like that personality, Kev, like and a tribute to your and commend you guys, you know, that's what it's all about. Like,
Yeah.
you're an entertainer, one, right? And then the next piece is the skill and understanding how to work a night. But like, people, you know, people will go to a Green Rock or a location that you're performing at because they know what to expect out of the night. They're expecting great music, a lot of energy, some fun. Like, you guys have heard me on the mic. I say ridiculous things on the mic sometimes.
You got it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll turn the music off and just be like, by the way, I love this song, and I'll go back on. Like,
Yeah.
but people laugh and like they have fun, like that, like my personality, right? You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't ever lose that. That's important.
Wholeheartedly, I agree with you because at the end of the day, you know, if we were all just DJs and just play music and we're super monotone, we're all like replaceable in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, you can only DJ so much better than somebody else. But at the end of the day, I can play the same tracks as you playing. Angelo can play the same tracks as we play. You know, having that entertainment is what's going to separate you and it's going to get you to other places. So I agree wholeheartedly. That's what me and Fisher, our whole idea of when we do it is like we try to throw a party, we try to entertain, we try to perform. And I don't know if it's because of the upbringing that we went into like the private event world before we got into like the bar scene. But having that level of performance is huge, and I feel like every DJ definitely needs it out there.
100%.
Yeah, and I mean, my dad is a magician, full time. So
Shout out Joe Fisher's Magic, baby.
Shout out Joe Fisher.
Sand art, spin art, kid.
I've always been around entertainers my whole life. So having that, like, I guess, background, for lack of a better word, it's led to me to see, like, anybody, as Merkel said, anybody could just be a DJ necessarily. Anybody could be an aux cord, you know? So you have to figure out ways to differentiate yourself, or else you're not going to be able to succeed. And I think that's something that people need to take away.
What is your dad's magician name?
Joe Fisher.
Joe Fisher Magic, baby.
Ledg.
Joe Fisher.
Fisher Magic. He's a savage. I've worked for him. We used to do. He actually got me a job. I played for our younger viewers out here. Close your ears over here. But I played Santa Claus. He got the plug at Applegate Farms, and I played Santa Claus. They had me on a tractor. Dead serious. They had me on a tractor for a tree lighting.
And we
I'm going,
took
ho, ho, ho.
we took
Merry Christmas.
Yo, even so though, like, we took that. It's like, so Merkel had
my dad's Santa Claus costume. Okay, Christmas is rolling around. The first bar gig we ever had at Murph's Tavern in Totowa, come to Murph's and take pictures with Santa Claus.
And I dressed up as Santa,
and
all
Santa's
sweaty as
sitting
shit.
there, he's got 3 girls on his lap, and he's holding the Corona. So
That's savage.
Brandon, if you're listening to this, we know what we're doing for
We are.
the party.
We are. I almost dressed up as Santa for SantaCon, but I was really nervous about being like super hot with the beer and everything.
I don't blame.
So-
I've never been one to and I've DJ'd SantaCons and Leprechauns, and Amara could attest. She's sitting right here. I've never been one to dress up. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got to get into it.
I think the craziest thing I've done was during a jungle party. I was a pledge back in the day. I dressed up as a gorilla, like full out gorilla, while I DJ'd. And I
From
was
pledge to
The whole
ledge.
suit,
The story of
the whole
Angelo.
the whole suit, everything.
Holy mama!
Yeah, that's
My extent goes to, I'm big into sneakers. Actually, the last gig I played before we locked down for the time being was Leprechaun at Wicked Wolf. And,
Yeah.
I was wearing Air Jordan 1s that were green and white. So that
There
was
you
my
go.
there you go.
That's fire. That's fire, though.
festive
Nothing wrong with that.
festivities, so. No, you listen. That's entertainment. It's
Yeah,
like
Definitely.
we're never going home. That guy walks in with the the
love
beat,
liner.
Ledg.
Ledge.
Yeah.
Ledge.
Yeah.
So but that's what people remember.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Yeah, you're right.
So you mentioned like we are currently in the quarantine of the world, I guess. One thing that you've done is you partnered up with the Hoboken Girl, which is a blog site that just like posts things Hoboken. Am I right by saying that?
They do a lot. They do support the community big time. That's step one. But they post a number of things, not just related to our community, but surrounding communities.
Okay.
They're a resource, for their viewers, and they have opinionated blogs and things of that nature. They're a resource actually for. They just launched their bridal entertainment segment. So
No way.
Oh, nice.
yep. So
There you go.
some cool stuff there, but they're a big voice in our community. And shout out Jen and the Hoboken crew over there, or the Hoboken Girl crew rather. They're just incredible people, and it's funny. You see all the and listen, during unprecedented times, we try to latch on to something that gives us hope, that gives us positive energy. And I'm not philosophical, but I just believe in that positivity. I believe in the power of that for what it's worth. And every night at 7:00, our city just cheers for our healthcare heroes. Like, let's call a spade a spade. These nurses, these doctors, they didn't sign up for this, right? Like, they're true heroes. They're battling this thing on the front lines, and it was something for them to look forward to each and every night at 7:00. And people would cheer, and they're banging on the pots and pans, and it's fun. It's a blast, and people feel like they have something to look forward to every day. And one night I looked at Amarette, and then of course I looked at her first, and then I looked at my JBL speaker second. And I said, honey,
You had to read that on a script.
I said, honey, did I get that right? I said, honey, do you mind if I play some Sinatra out the window tonight? I swear this is exactly how it happened. And she was like, you can, but wait till tomorrow. Like, make sure you have it all set. I said, that sounds like a good compromise. Let's shake on it. So the next night, we cheered, blah, blah, blah. 7:00 rolls around. I put the JBL speaker out the window, and I play a Sinatra song, and people were like really into it. And, and the response was great, and I couldn't believe it. And that's how it all started. And then the Hoboken Girl took it to just another level. Like, we have literally like a list of tracks. Like, we talk every week, and we plan out the week, and we know what songs we're going to play. And we make sure we're really strategic. We want to make sure they're uplifting, the message is accurate, and, they're different genres, right? Because you're dealing with so many different people. And I actually don't remember exactly how the live streams started happening. Like, every night I go live at 7:00. It's like second nature at this point. I have some special guests now, so I like to highlight some local businesses. So Brandon from Green Rock's been on, and I had my buddy Phil, who owns a Botox center in Hoboken. It's a small business. I've had nurses. I had Jen tonight,
That's
from the
awesome.
Hoboken Girl, be a special guest, and we've raised a boatload of money. We really have for some
That's awesome.
Yeah.
for some organizations in the
Yeah.
community. Flag, we raised over $10,000 for them. They're feeding our healthcare heroes. And this past weekend we did a segment where we raised money for Hoboken EMS.
Nice.
And the volunteers there, they work for free. They got no medical supplies. We raised over $2,000 in 1 hour. So
That's amazing.
It really goes to show you the impact that the Hoboken Girls had on this city specifically, but the power of music and just positivity and energy. Plus, it was 90s night, so some
There you
backstreet
go.
people going.
Got him going.
No, and I mean, dude, kudos to you for consistently keeping it up.
100%.
Like regardless of like even like if you were getting 10 people, I mean, you guys are getting a lot more than that on the streams that you're doing, but even if I know, knowing you, even if you were getting 2 people watching, you would do it every night just to be able to support everybody out there who's on the front lines.
Yeah.
Of what's going on.
They don't get a day off, and neither do we. That's my
I love that.
That's a staple.
And listen, like it's just become a part of. I like routine. We all like routine, right? Like, like Amarette, if you were to put her on the show right now, she could give you my full spiel from the time I wake up. I'm very regimented.
The Cam morning routine.
and yes, it's very.
Goes to bed with the New York cap on.
Wakes up.
There we go.
No,
Love it.
That, like, to me, like whatever I'm doing that day, like that's an important piece to me. Like, I'm very passionate about it. Not because I'm going live and I'm putting myself out there. Like I can't even count on 2 hands how many messages I've received from my neighbors, from EMS workers, from nurses, doctors, that just like how much they appreciate like this one song that we play out the window every night. And it seems so simple and easy to digest, but like the impact that it's having on the community and just the people that show up every night for it, like that to me is really, really special.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah. I try and tune in whenever I can, but the one night I tuned in, it was "Don't Stop Believing," and you play the Levels mashup.
Of course,
I had to. I can only imagine how many people hit you up, be like, how do I find this mashup or something?
Emmerich goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm gonna spice it up a bit."
Had to throw Avicii in there.
I mean, listen, it's like my favorite edit of all time. Like,
so fire.
It's a great one.
I've played a million gigs in my life. Like, I don't think there's been a gig I haven't played that edit, and I don't know who knows it. So I'm forgetting off the top of my head which mashup it was. But anyway, it was amazing. It was
that's awesome.
There was one night. It was a Saturday afternoon. It was late at it was 7:00, obviously, but it was still kind of light out.
Yeah.
I played "Can't Stop the Feeling" by Justin Timberlake.
Mm-hmm.
We had and it was incredible. Like, there was 6 people in the street near the water, 6 feet apart, dancing, like straight on, like dancing in the
flash
street.
mob.
Like a flash mob. It was like synchronized too. It was like
that's awesome.
They could have planned it, bro. You've been rocking it every time it's 7. They say, we're gonna go out here and do it. You know.
Amarette laughs. She's like, I'm starting to see the same people when it's really nice out. When it's kind of cold and whatever, we don't see it. But like when it's really nice out, we see the same people showing up, and that shows how important this is to the community. So like, for me, I'm not downplaying it. It's no big deal. I'm in my apartment. Like, I have the equipment. I enjoy it. But, in these unprecedented times, like, gotta latch on to something, guys. Like, let's be real. Like, Angelo, I've seen you pick up a random Sunday and just drop some, an hour set because you love it. It's a part of it's a part of you, right? Like, I see Merc. I'll see you rock on your CDJs randomly.
Merc was the best.
I gotta test them out usually. Yeah, pretty crappy camera angle and my thing.
And then Fish is putting on his chef hat and his apron, and you guys are throwing napkins,
whipping it up,
shouting people out and telling people to throw virtual napkins. Like we're all, not to sound cliche, we're all in this together. We're fortunate that we come from like an entertainment background. People gravitate to those types of individuals. So, on behalf of this community, like, keep it up. It's important. There's something to look forward to. That's what this
definitely. You've been doing
Yeah.
great too with Ledge Fest, which is awesome. Like we've seen so many. We've seen so. I personally have seen, like, met so many DJs that I like haven't heard yet, and that's like one of the DJs is Trizzo.
Trizzo, yeah.
We keep in touch all the time. He's great DJ. We start doing something on our own, like on Saturdays now.
And you know that's important too. And listen, I promise you, not everybody's going to be your friend in this industry. Just you got to accept that.
Yeah.
Because it's very catty, it's very competitive, and all industries are. But we're talking our industry. Everybody was given an opportunity, right? You never forget. Those bar owners or those club promoters or those GMs or that buddy that introduces you to somebody. Like Bobby Batts introduced me to Brandon, and now Brandon's one of my closest friends. And like I play at Green Rock regularly. Like it all starts somewhere. Like never forget that. And I think Ledge Fest is a great example, Angelo. And I'm glad you bring that up. And it's obviously I'm very proud because it's the longest running virtual festival of all time. At least I think so.
Yeah.
But guys like a Trizzo, who are up and coming, or the other 65 some odd DJs that are like signed up to be a part of this virtual festival that we've created. You network, you meet new people that you might have never spoken to before.
Yeah.
And who knows when we're back into the swing of things, and you're rocking a set at Texas or wherever you are. You need an opening DJ or something like that. Trizzo gets the call. So,
yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to meet all these people because there's a lot of people I met just through Ledge Fest. It's great what you did.
I would have to say that's very Ledge. It's very Ledge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go, Bobby.
I feel honored.
There he is.
No, but it definitely is awesome though that you brought kind of a network together with that, and definitely during this time, and even just like the organization. I mean, you're maximizing the viewership for each person going. For example, I'm not going live, you're not going live, Angelo's not going live. So I think it's good because you really get the chance to spotlight each person throughout.
I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, just try to bring some. Everybody likes a booking. It's like a big booking.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's all be real. There's nothing better than seeing your logo or your face on a flyer.
On a flyer, yeah.
I'm gonna say no one's gonna say it. I'll say it. It feels amazing. You love seeing your brand and everything you've worked hard for, even if it's as simple as a virtual flyer like Ledge Fest. People supporting each other. There's no. It's just everybody working together. So it's a good vibe.
Of course, because especially a year ago with me, like I was doing stuff, I was DJing and my name wasn't even on the flyer sometimes. So like I get like it's the best feeling for like not, especially if you're not in nightlife, like shit like that.
There, it still happens. It's humbling, but you know what? At the end of the day, stay professional and
Definitely.
You go in there and you do what you know how to do. People start to hear your sound more, understand who you are as an artist, and good things happen.
Of course.
And I mean, just based off the name alone too, it's something that I wouldn't mind seeing happen when we're finally out of this. If we could get an official Ledge Fest hosted somewhere,
I think if anything,
that'd be fire.
Coming to a place near you.
We'll have to do that 100%. Maybe even I can even get a permit to do it right outside my apartment as a last hurrah.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, go to the shipyard, bro.
live from the shipyard.
There you go, Ledge Fest.
Maybe I'll just pack everybody in my apartment. I was telling
we got to maximize the social distancing at that point,
I told Amo, I said, whenever it is we decide to move out of this apartment, they're going to come in and be like, listen, it's a spacious 1 bed, 1 bath. Oh, by the way, this is where that asshole was playing music for 75 days straight.
That's so good.
Yeah, the next person, someone's going to open a window. They go, oh, not again. Shut up.
Here he comes. No,
but to your testament, when you do the 7 p.m., what I love is, you're playing the music. Ammo gets the perfect angle of just like all Hoboken, the greatest view of it. But the best thing that I still love to this day is every time you go and, you hop on the mic, you do your little intro, you just hear the cheers of everybody, just so excited and they're engaged. It's not like you're playing music and people are listening to it and they're engaged, they're cheering. You could tell that there's passion. They're waiting at 6:55 by their window, for you to kind of go out and do your thing, which I think is awesome.
It's absolutely incredible. And the part you don't get to see now, I've been very fortunate. We got Cowbell Crew, which you guys know. They got the cowbell every night, rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
I call the balcony crew. It's a very young couple with two young.
That's a thing too. Like
That's amazing.
You've created brands for just all these people. Which
Labeling them, labeling them.
Cowbell
Great,
Crew, baby.
It engages that audience even more because you're shouting them out every single night.
Monmouth University marketing undergrad. Shout out.
There you
Monmouth.
go.
There we go. There we go.
No, those
Put the
two, and then
degrees.
it's so funny. You can't see. Obviously, I'm here, so I can see into everybody's apartments, and not everybody raises their windows. Some do, some don't. Some one day do it, some others don't. Some have like really young kids, and they'll tag me in their posts, like, and they're like dancing in the window. The kids, or like people are taking videos of me through their windows. You can't really see it, but it's like that's what it's all about. It's 5 minutes, and people look forward to it.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned that, Kev. Like, if I don't say it, like, it doesn't start until I say something.
It literally doesn't. They literally wait until you get the mic, and then you say something, and then you hear them go. You hear the cowbell. You hear them
That's
scream.
awesome.
It's like a timer. Like, I feel like you side text everybody and be like, I'm starting now. Like, you know what I mean? Because you do your intro for 5-8 minutes. You just like, time to go. You turn around and do it like so seamlessly to the point where once you get on it, you start hearing people cheer and stuff,
I was saying to Amo, I don't know how many we've done at this point. It feels like 100, but I really don't know how many exactly. But doing it every night, you start to get into a rhythm. And Kev, I think you highlighted it. There are certain things that I'll say like repetitively every single night. They don't get a day off, and neither do we. But like, that's the truth. Like, and
right.
One song, everybody knows the rules. I love the Prez. I'm gonna shout out the Prez and Barstool. Like, like little things like that, like people gravitate to and enjoy and almost expect it to happen. So it just makes like, viewership's a tough psychology or however you want to label it.
Yeah.
So I want people to have something to look forward to each and every night. I want nurses and healthcare heroes and frontline workers to have something to look forward to every night. And I want to keep it spicy. So like I mentioned, earlier, having special guests on have been really impactful. We had this past Monday, my buddy's sister, Noelle Tratow, she's a nurse out of Memorial Sloan Kettering. She unfortunately had this, was like fully recovered, came and went back to work. You know what I mean? So like those types of stories, if that doesn't get you fired up, like I don't know what will. And like that, and these individuals, these nurses, these healthcare heroes, like they deserve all the recognition in the world. Like there's not enough recognition. Like I'm sorry, but like what I'm doing is not even enough. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that type of mentality. So
yeah. No, we love it. We appreciate everything you do, and we hope to continue and see you rock it out. But Cam, where are you looking to move forward in like the 3 to 5 year plan? Like you have any goals out there, maybe even for 2020? This is all said and done. Are you looking to branch into maybe specific areas or get out of Jersey? Do you have anything set up for yourself?
It's a great question. No, I will never leave Jersey. I love New Jersey. I love this. I love this state. Amaret and I are always talking future. Where do we want to reside? Do we want a house? Do we want to continue to live the apartment life?
Yeah.
I love this city. I've been here 5 years actually this month. I can't believe it's May. Literally in 2 weeks, it'll be 5 years since I moved.
Congrats.
City, so thank you. I think we'll be here a few more years, and then we'll kind of roll from there. I'm very fortunate and blessed with my, my current setup at my organization with Barclays Center. So I want to see the Ledg brand continue to grow. So seeing where that side project, takes me, I want to learn more as like an artist, as a DJ, dip my toe a little bit more in the production scene, and just, it's funny, I've been doing this 8 years or so. And there's still so much more to learn and get better at.
Yeah.
And my brand is just starting to like really, get some momentum, and I want to continue that momentum. So in short, I want to continue to, position my brand appropriately, support initiatives that I believe in. And I mean, first and foremost, I want to get back in the club.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think it was Saturday. I looked like the actor from Narcos. So I was like sitting on the couch, playing, Pablo Escobar. I was sitting on the couch
Just by herself.
And she's like playing Call of Duty, get my butt whooped as per usual. And I read like, she's like, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong?" I said, I need to get to a bar. I need to get to a club. I need to be entertaining.
Preach. Going crazy.
I don't know. And like my parents are trying to figure it out. My girlfriend, my family, like, where do you get this energy? I work sometimes 60, 70 hours in a week. I'm up, on like a normal work week, I'm up at 5:30. I'm not home till 7:30 at night, commuting to the city. And then I go on a Friday or Saturday night, play 6 hours in a club, get home at 4 a.m, and do it all over again. But there's something about it. I can't explain it. I think unless you're like in the industry, you could probably, you kind of get it.
Definitely.
The feeling and the energy of the people and just being in that environment is just really, really special to me and guys like you, I'm sure.
There's nothing better.
Yeah, it's that crowd interaction. Like you're playing, you said it before, like you're playing Clarity, you've cut the music and everybody's singing the song back to you. Regardless if you made the song or not, that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm doing a good job right now, and you bring it back in, like, and you're at Green Rock, you're at DJ's, Wicked Wolf, wherever. Wolf, they're shooting the confetti. They're throwing napkins all over the place.
It's unreal.
Joe and Bobby Bats are hitting the bottle. It's insane.
You nailed it. It's the power of community, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Straight up, like, you miss seeing these faces, these people. Like, Amaret and I have looked at each other a few times during this situation. We have to continue to socially distance. We have to continue to quarantine because that's the right thing to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. We've looked at each other and it's like, I could really go for a Bats bomb right now. I really miss, so-and-so, or I miss a Peter constantly at the sausage and peppers in line.
Nobody misses that, let's be real.
We'll look at each other.
You don't miss that.
I talk to Slav, Slav's one of my best friends, Amaret and I, we talk to him every day, and he lives 5 minutes away in West New York. I'm like, I miss you, dude. He's like, what do you mean you miss me? We just FaceTime 6 times today. Just that human interaction, that just environment, that energy that you build, that's what makes all these places so special. It's not just us, it's just that whole community. So we'll be back. We'll be back stronger than ever, but we got to be smart for the time being, and continue to do what's right. So
of course, like you said, your family doesn't know where it comes from when you're just nonstop going. I feel like I could run on an hour of sleep and still go and play a club, and I'll be perfectly fine the whole time and be happy. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I just love, there's nothing better than fucking playing for a crowd. It's hard.
Yeah. It's the energy.
It's so fucking much.
Yeah. So
I don't think I ever realized how much I really appreciated it until this happened, to be honest.
That's the big piece is you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And then listen, I'm sure when we are back, people are going to, we'll be back. When we are back, we're going to be like, fuck, I wish I had more time on my hands. Cause I wish I was able to do this when I was in quarantine sometimes,
Listen, the biggest piece right now, and I think you've read it and, everyone's preached it, maximize the time, right? Yeah. So if you're a producer, you better be producing music. Some fire tracks are going to be coming out. It. So for those that know me very well, I'm very dominant left hand. There's not much I could do with my right hand other than twist the filter knob.
Ledg.
I'm very big. I'm Ledg. I'm very big on, scratching in and out of tracks. I pride myself on that. But my right arm's weak. So how can I get better at, perfecting that craft? Yesterday, Amaret was sitting there and I was just practicing for an hour, just cutting in and out of tracks and understanding my equipment a little bit better. And there's time to do it. You know what I mean? Become a true student of the sport. There's always room for growth. As great of a DJ as I think I am, and you think you guys are, there's always going to be something to learn. There's always going to be something to get better at.
Totally agree.
wordplay segments, and there's some guys that do it really, really well. Like, listen to sets. Like, we have like a lot of content out there right now. Listen to them and have some fun.
Just like, I think this is huge to grow. Like right now, I'm listening to like a different old school hip hop album every day, because like I never grew up through that, so like I don't know much about it. So like I'm trying to just like maximize my music knowledge.
Build up your crates, guys. Do the old fashioned Google. I promise you. You look up top 100 songs from 1991. You're gonna get the top 100 hip hop tracks from 1991.
Yeah.
You're going to start building crates like you've never built before.
Yeah.
And, it just diversifies you as an artist, as a DJ. And, no request is too large for you when you get back into
of course.
Unless you try asking for like what I get all the time.
What's the go-to, Cam, I'm never going to play it song? If somebody comes up and asks, what's like the go-to song? Yeah, probably won't play that one.
I'm very strict to my BPMs. So if like somebody, like, I know it's going to sound like technical and ridiculous, but like if I'm at like 105 and I'm vibing, and someone asks for like a work, like an ASAP Ferg at like 60, 65-ish or something, you'll hear it, but you'll hear it later. Like I'm not going to mess around with my vibe as I'm building up an energy, to 128, there's a time and place for it all, but you could be creative, and I'm just picking on the BPMs. There's some obviously
situational.
You got no song that like if someone asks you, like you're like just and nothing to do.
You know which one that I actually would always play, because I knew it would, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, it makes sense because it works, and it was a fire track. Two of them. It was I think it was like 2016, 2017. You'd get Despacito, and you would get Closer by the Chainsmokers.
Yeah.
Night and day. And I would play it. Like I would sometimes twice a night, and I'm normally not a play the song twice type of guy.
Yeah.
I didn't care when it came to those two songs. I'd play them, and they'd go off, and it would be a blast.
That's awesome.
That's funny that you say that.
There was times at house parties I think I played Closer like 5 times.
Yeah, that's when I grew up through that song.
And
house parties.
I can promise you, I don't like playing songs twice. I have no problem, 0 problem playing Levels like 12 times in a night. I love that song. I don't care.
Can't go wrong with that.
That one's for me, and you all have to
You play the Show Me Love edit, the Don't Stop Believing edit. There's plenty of edits you can play.
There's plenty of them that I don't care, and I don't care.
Yeah. But going back to what you said, it's funny because me and Fisher definitely have played Closer a lot. But we actually kind of stray away from Despacito. But the reason is because we used to play it so much in the private event industry, like bar mitzvahs. It's like an inside joke with our boss of like, oh, what are you gonna ask for, Despacito? You know what I mean? Or Despacito. Probably
there's like doing a lot of private events. There's so many songs that you're just like, I hate this track. You play it so damn much.
We don't really play it, to be honest. I couldn't tell you the last time me and Fisher
I haven't played it.
Even if they request it, I don't even think we play it.
Despacito.
I fucking hate it.
I speak English. I straight up. The best is when you'll play it and everybody will go like Despacito, and they'll like mumble for
I'm probably standing on the. I'm probably in Green Rock standing on the thing with napkins, and I'm like, Cam, what the fuck?
I'll never play that. I think Despacito's like a meme now. Like I think of it as a meme. Like
that's so funny. It's just like different, generations.
I promise you, 2016, 2017.
It ripped.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
And it is what it is.
Yeah. I probably would have still vibed out.
Well, that's the thing.
What songs do we get? Because she takes all my she'll have the boot. I'll have Amarette be my
Yeah, we actually need ammo. We need ammo here for this.
Get the Lady Ledg in frame.
Come on.
Get the Lady Ledg in frame. If she wants to be. If she doesn't want to be, it's fine.
Can we get a live Lady Ledg? Actually, hold on. I'll see if I could have her hit the lights. You're right.
There you go. Hit the lights. Hit the lights.
Here it comes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey.
No, but it's so funny because I think if we were in the bar scene during Despacito, we'd play the shit out of it. But like we grew up doing the private events like around that time.
Yeah.
So just hearing it for
This
like the bar
OD.
mitzvahs, the Swedish teens,
It's like every single
that was the number
single
one
3-year-old
song.
wants to hear that song.
I'm like now like going through the years here. So songs that obviously Show Me Love, Heads Will Roll, those are
Yeah,
actually
bangers. Take
you
Me
know,
Home.
Calvary Shake and what's the other one? Danza Kaduro is always very, very
Donza.
I still love playing that. I still love playing that
it.
song.
I play it every damn
Love
wedding. I
playing it.
hate it. I hate it.
100%. I'll play Intoxicated almost every
I still like that song.
an EDM track. If I'm not playing like an EDM house set, I'll absolutely play that. The earlier years of EDM, Don't You Worry Child was like a must. Like it had to
Fire.
happen. Do you guys remember the song Ode to Oi?
Of course, TJR,
They are,
baby.
bro.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Crooker's remix. Crooker's
I
remix.
got-
Nah, OG. Play
I
OG.
played that- I
Yo,
played that song,
the AC/DC TNT mashup.
Fire.
Fire.
do you know the Who Is Ready to Jump with like the jump around edit?
Yeah.
There's, like,
Classic.
Who's ready to
It
jump?
was like, what did he do? I was like, I didn't do anything. The guy.
That's so funny. How about the what's the knife party song? It was like
Internet Friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still play that. Like it's like I love that track. It rocks.
I heard Nuns play it recently, and I always I like that's when I'm like, oh fuck, forgot about that.
You
So
listen.
funny.
There's nothing wrong with. I mean, listen. I'm calling it digging in the crates. You could dig for days. You know, years and years of music. But that era, yeah, that was a very big one.
It's the
Yeah,
best.
There's something
For
special.
me, it was the best.
That like 2010 to 2015. There's something special about it. There's so many.
The golden era of
That is, yeah.
progressive.
When we've done EDM Classics Night at Green Rock, when I was creating, or I guess kind of managing my crates for the evening, I literally like double checked myself on each track to make sure that it fell within 2010 to 2015. If it didn't, then it was not played.
It's getting
And I
deleted.
only played, and I was strict on in general, I'm pretty strict on playing. I like playing originals. I'm not like once in a while. If I play an edit, it's because I really like the edit or really like the remix. I'm big on originals. I was like very strict with that night. I was like, no, you're gonna hear this song in its
The
purest
original.
form.
Yeah.
Like some old like I have flashbacks of like when Steve Aoki's like birthday cake thing now is cool, but like Steve Aoki back in 2010 to that 2012 era when he would play like Warp or like No
Warp.
Beef.
Wow.
Yes, like I'm talking like
Laddie Daddy, like
oh forget about it. I mean
It's so
like,
good.
Mr. Do you guys remember Mr. Taxi?
Hold on.
I don't know that one.
That sounds super familiar. I think if I heard it, I would know.
Mr. Taxi, do yourself a favor. Like
I'm looking it up.
he is such a jam, and like this guy, he's the definition of a showman. Like he comes up and just like he's actually mixing. Like he's legit, and he just brings this energy like you've never seen before, or if you have fortunately seen him. But like that's what I think of when we think of that era. Like, old tracks.
So fire.
Love that.
Listen
Yo,
to
right
Mr.
there.
Taxi.
That's the cake right there. That's from one of his shows. That's the cake.
Oh my
That's
god.
the cake cardboard. We got you got a couple gems in that garage, Fish, for sure. We got the tritonal, triangle or delta,
Tommy Trash's head.
Tommy Trash.
You have literally a story for everything in there. I feel like.
I got the poster for the final show of Botches in New York.
Still, one of my favorite things in there is we got an award on a fraternity party. We used to do a lot of formals and stuff. Like we used to do obviously the house parties, but we got really big into doing different formals. But we got a formal award. We were the most likely to be the DJ of someone's funeral.
At a funeral.
Oh,
At a funeral.
oh my
Sure.
goodness. That was not what I thought you were gonna say.
I got somebody made us a beanie.
We'll be ripping on the eyes of the
A
angels.
lot of beanie.
You guys are
Oh
great.
man,
No,
we got some
I
good ones in there.
can't thank you guys enough for having me on, and it's fun to talk about. And I appreciate you recognizing the journey. And listen, there's blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this, and you understand the importance of patience is important too, right? I want to leave with some knowledge.
Yeah.
Of course.
I say it to Amaret all the time, as I do some reflection, because it is important to reflect. It doesn't happen overnight, like there, like it takes a lot of time to, but set yourself goals. Like if there's certain spots that you want to, play or aspire to play one day, like dream big. There's nothing wrong with that, but be prepped, be ready, like really feel good about going into that next phase of your journey. And again, I've been fortunate. I've been surrounded by really great people. Networking is extremely key, but make sure it's like legit networking. Don't just show up one time and shake hands and call it a day, like, and expect to be booked. Like, it doesn't work like that unless you're Tiesto or, Hardwell.
Yeah, 100%.
But like, just be a good person, stay true to your sound, stay true to yourself, always look to grow and challenge yourself. And I promise you, the difference maker is, playing that, 1 a.m., Miley Cyrus track and not feel like you're doing something out of the norm. It's okay. I promise you people are going to respond well to it.
Definitely. I love that. Listen, Cam, thank you so much for hopping on, especially, just during the quarantine and everything. We know you're busy. We know you got a lot of stuff going on, and we appreciate you.
Listen, we're a little late to our Call of Duty match. So.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
We are.
I'm hopping on a little bit. So.
All right. So lasting things, Cam. Where can we find you?
Great question.
Plug all your stuff.
Yeah,
you
plug
can
your
find
shit,
me in
boy.
the club, bottle full. I'm just kidding. No, you could follow me on Instagram at DJ __ Cam. It's 2 underscores. So at DJ __ Cam. Or you can check my website out if you're looking to see, some of my content and videos and, places I've, played and performed in the past at djcamofficial.com.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you, Cam. Listen, guys, have a good night. I'm Angelo the Kid. We got Olive Oil, DJ Cam, and have a good night. Thank you.
Cam,
Cheers,
thank
guys.
The
Be well.
Ledg
Cheers.
of all legends.
Ledg.
Lord of mercy.